Hello, 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 everybody. I'm back and I'm feeling so much better. Thank you for so much for all the well wishes and just all the beautiful energy. When you don't rest up, your body makes you, right? Forced R&R. So I did take a night off just to get energy back and was fighting a headache all day. We had like minus 10 degrees. I think it was, I was celebrated when we got back to 0 degrees Fahrenheit in the afternoon, and then it started going back down again. So, but I feel much, much better. So we are back. And before we get started on readings, I do want to, of course, send love out to the world. And if you would like to join me, I would welcome that. So thank you so much. It's going to take a big, deep breath and come back to right here, right now. And whether you're watching this on playback or live, please join me. Don't let that stop you. We do join outside of time and space with this beautiful energy. So just going to let that energy, that love flow down into our hearts, fill us up, and flow out to the world. And of course, if you are in need of love right now for your heart, your mind, your body, a loved one, a situation, whatever it may be, we send love to you right now as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so, so much for joining me and doing that and allowing that for me. And happy super new moon day for Capricorn. It happened, I think, at 3 a.m. So about 7, almost 8 hours ago. Um, I did post this week's weekly energy update, did talk about the supermoon, how you can make the most of the energy in that. And you still, like, we're within 8 hours right now. But if, as soon as you're able to do new moon wishes around this, it's very, very powerful. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. And we have just about another day that you could um, enter for the 30-minute free recorded reading. And that, let me put that in here. So this is the video that tells you how you can enter with that, which actually has to do with those weekly energy updates. So be sure to check that out. We also, of course, winter has, definitely began. Winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, at least in my state, I know. But and then also summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. So we did have a playlist for those. So be sure to check that out to see how these next 3 months will be unfolding for you. And we also put out a pick a card reading a couple days ago, yesterday, actually yesterday. So it happens when you're under the weather a little bit, everything just flows together. But it was how can he remove blocks from your past? And in doing so, you raise your vibration. And so that's the pick a card for that. So those are the beautiful, beautiful messages that they want to focus on right now. And then, of course, let me go ahead and break out the chat here, pop it out so I can see it more clearly. Hey, Renee, I'm doing much, much better. Thank you. And thank you for your donation. Yep, that is the other thing that I wanted to mention. So perfect timing there, Renee, is if you do want your reading prioritized, Normally, I just go down in order of the free readings as you chat in the chat room. That's the list. You just ask for a reading, specific question, or general reading. And then I just start at the top and I work my way through for the free readings. But if you make a donation, I step out of the list, take care of the donation because I do want to honor that energy exchange that you're giving. And then I step back into line of the free readings and move down the list. So that's how that works. And I'm excited to jump in and see what we got going on here today. Let me just get everything set up here. All right, we are good there. And so, Renee, you have made a donation. So, thank you so much for all your support. And we will start with your reading. Hopefully, everyone is feeling great. If you're not, hopefully that energy helped. It helps me to send the energy, and I feel, like I said, I feel so much better. You know, if you, I think my body's like a human barometer. So when we have these fronts come in, especially when it dropped into the like 20, 30, 40 below with the wind chill, I think it just sucked the air out of my head, I think. But yeah, I have the humidifier going. Got my coffee, and I got all this love from you guys. So thank you so much. All right. So, what Manny wants you to know is your question, Renee. So let's take a look here and see what Manny is wanting you to know. Just move the microphone back a little bit. That might be a little loud. Sorry. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Wow. Looks like he has a ton going on in his life right now. Because you've got, and I'm going old school today, and I'm doing the Radiant Rider Waite. You've got the Knight of Wands, which is about a lot of energy, a lot of movement in his life. King of Wands, again, a lot of movement in their life. And 10 of Wands, a lot of energy, a lot of burden. As far as just a lot going on, and this doesn't have to do specifically like with you. It's just like, it's almost like they're saying, I just got so much going on, and my hands are in so many things and so much. I'm trying to spread my energy out among like 10 things, right? And it's like when you focus on 10 things, you don't do very well at any of them, right? When we focus our energy on one thing, we move 10 steps. But if we invest each of our steps in one individual thing, in 10 individual things, everything goes forward one step. So it feels like they're just struggling, trying to do too much with all their energy. And that's what's bringing them that feeling of just overwhelmingness, right? Um, Balance is coming though, because he has two cards of balance. One is the Temperance card, which is definitely about balancing and patience and things unfolding. And the Queen of Swords is interestingly a balancing type card because she rules over um, emotions and water. Actually, sorry, I was thinking this was the Queen of Swords for some reason. But the Queen of Cups is actually about deep diving into emotions. So there is balance coming in here, and they have got one foot in the water. So they are looking into their emotions here. But I just feel the Queen of Swords energy for some reason, which is what we are going to go with too, because with this balancing out here, there is this balancing of heart and mind that is coming into play. So I do like that. And then, of course, there is Ace of Cups. So there is love coming. They do want to share the love that they have, but it's going to take some time. And you have it's funny because The temperance card is so similar. You can see they got 1 feet on land and 1 feet in the water, 1 feet on land, 1 feet on the water. And so this is like a wish fulfillment card. And so this is something that they wish to give to you, but it's going to take some time for them to balance things out in their life. And so I feel like that's what the message is, what they're wanting to say is like they are just overwhelmed, and they are learning, though, especially with that King of Wands, how to focus their energy. And so once they get that going, they will start dropping off things that they're focusing on to get it down to just a handful of, like 3 things. They're going to focus on this, this, and this. And you're one of the things that they want to focus on. But right now, they're just stretching themselves with all this stuff in their life. And I don't feel like it's like, a harem of individuals. I feel like it's, work and home and their family stuff and friends and this friend and then this thing. And like there's just so much that they're wanting to do, but they can't handle it all. Like none of us can. That's too much, right? So that is what they have for you. Okay, very good. I'm glad that resonates because, yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we've asked that. And I feel like that was what came through before. If that resonates. It all kind of all the readings I do kind of in here anyway. So that's what they have. So thank you so much again, Renee, for all your well wishes and for your donations. I so appreciate you. Yeah. So that makes sense then. So they're like, "Yeah, I think they're gonna be that way for a little bit." They're learning the hard way, so they learn it really good. Like us all, right? All right. So many blessings to you, Renee. Thank you for being here. Very good. All right. And then next up, Shinmei Joshi, thank you so much for your donation. And you want to know what are Diksha's feelings for you? What's she thinking? All right, let's take a look here and find out. So, what are their feelings for you? Feeling and thinking. So, we'll look at the heart. Okay. And okay, that makes sense. And then what is she thinking? So into the mind, the heart and the mind. Let's take a look here. All right. Well, it's funny. It's similar. I like that the kind of the first cards that came out for both, what she's feeling is new birth, mother nature, mother nurture. So looking at her own self, her own well-being and what does she want, but also looking at new birth. So there's this newness in her heart towards you. And then the Empress, which is like these are like sisters or cousins, because the Empress is like the big major arcana of the queens. It's like the Empress rules over the queens, like the Emperor rules over the kings. And the Empress here, this was what is she thinking? New birth. These both are about new birth, mother nature, mother nurture. So the exact same thing is in her heart and her mind, which that makes sense because we have such a beautiful relationship between our heart and our mind. They generally battle back and forth about who's going to lead, but they both have opinions that they share. This is what I want. Well, this is what I want. Well, let's try to find something similar. And this, it's her mind is and her heart are in unison with this. Because on the heart side, the feeling side, emotions come up with cups. So new love, new higher love. And the Four of Cups is like these are the love of the outside world or the loves of the past. And here's the new love that comes in, which is this page here. So I feel like with this newness, there's like this new level of love, this heightened love that is being ignited um, from them towards you. So I like this. It's they're taking care of themselves and they're really nurturing themselves, but they're seeing in doing that they're releasing things that are like sparking this new love, which the Seven of Pentacles also shows up under the feelings. The Seven of Pentacles is like patience, but also about movement to something different. When so it's what they you had before was good, and then the Seven of Pentacles, the fruit starts to show, and now it's like you're going to a new place within your relationship. It was good for what it was, but it's time for a new level, movement into this new type of relationship, this new type of interaction between you. And on the thinking side, along with the Empress, you've got the Ten of Pentacles. So she sees this as a completion of abundance, both in relationship, and even get the dogs and the children, and the castle and the money. It's like she sees this in her mind as a beautiful, um, secure feeling of wholeness in the outside world. And the Chariot is this both victory and movement. Again, two movement cards in both the emotions and the mind, and a very powerful power of choice card. So she knows and she's realizing that she gets to choose what anything means. She gets to choose what she feels in each moment. And so there is this movement in the life of what she feels towards you. And so they're desiring movement of heart and movement of mind and thought and outside world. So this is a good time if you are wanting things to move forward. To It's ripe, it's ripe for the asking, because they are in this wanting that. So yeah, yeah, that definitely is that they want to move to a higher level of love between you. So yeah, that Page of Cups is a higher love, a new love. Um, so she definitely has these feelings, and she wants more. Is what both in heart and mind is coming through with the cards. So that is what Spirit is letting you know. It's like if you are not in a relationship, if you are um, in a relationship, but it's been slow going, now is the time to share how you feel. And if you love them and you want to take it further, now is the time. It's like it said that both the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress are about fertility and birth, and ready for newness, ready for a new birth, ready for this harvest, ready for abundance. It's ready. So it's like, I don't know why they're, and be careful, because what they're showing to me is like, um, when someone's trying to get pregnant and they're like, this is the perfect time, my temperature is right, it's the best part of the cycle, and the moon cycles now. And it's like, so if you don't want children, be careful, but it is this time of new birth with relationships. So that is what they have for you, Shinmei. So many blessings for you. So that's what they have. Thank you again for your donation. I definitely appreciate the energy exchange. All right. So I don't think there's any other donations. You are very welcome. And we will start with the free readings. As I mentioned earlier, I do start at the very top for free readings and make my way down. And if you do want to prioritize yours, you just make a donation. I step out of line and complete it, and then go back in line like I'm doing now. So Mars. Oh, actually, let me make sure I'm doing the live chat here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And so Mars, you are up. And you would like what energy in love they would like you to know about and any advice. Let's take a look here. So let's take a look here for Mars. What about love? All right. All right. Well, you definitely have movement coming up here with love because you have both the Eight of Pentacles, which is about doing the work in the outside world, and then movement is going to be happening in the outside world. You also have the Eight of Cups, which is you leaving behind old emotions, old ways of thinking and feeling about relationship and love, and you're ready to head off into wish fulfillment. And you have the Knight of Cups, which is also about movement of emotion. So, a lot of movement that's going to be coming up here in the very near future with all of this movement. And you're going to be being offered love here. Now, so of course, what's your part in making this happen, right? So, you've got the Queen of Swords, which is a balancing of heart and mind. And so, it's, the Ace of Swords here, it actually allows you to connect higher to beliefs and mindsets that are rooted in unconditional love, which allows you to cut away a lot of expectations around what a relationship is supposed to be, needs to be, has to be, what that person is supposed to be, just all of the cage that we put around relationships that we're taught to do in our lives because there's so many rules around you know everything in the human world. And so this is a freedom that comes from this, a release that comes from this. And it's important because we have the blinders that are on when we have so many expectations. These are all the expectations, and we miss all this and we miss all this. And so it's really been all this journey you've been going through with love and relationships and trying to figure things out is really opening your expectations more, allowing you to go more with the flow, which is confirmed here with the moon card, which is all about cycles, the ebb and the flow of the waters that are impacted by the moon cycles from new moon, which we have today, super new moon, to full moon and back. It's cycles, it's timing, trusting the timing, trusting the flow, going with the flow. And in the meantime, you do work on balancing your beliefs of your mind with your heart because you also have the unknown, the deep subconscious and unconscious. So, facing those small t truths of fears of how things are supposed to be and should be, need to be, and have to be, those things allow you to really take a deep breath and just let the need for timing and supposed to be's go and allow you to enjoy each moment, allow you to go do the things you love. And in those things, you meet people that also love doing some of the things you love. And that's where these connections come in. These where this depth of connection come in. Trusting that whoever is meant for you, whatever relationship, whatever mirrors are meant for you, will not pass you by. And so you can trust. Trust is the big word that's coming through you regarding love. And just to be in the moment, not be in the future or the past about love. So that's what they have for you right now, Mars. That's the advice that they give you. So many, many blessings to you. All right. So, Renee, thank you for your second donation. And let's take a look here and let's take and see what we have here. So, anything that you've missed out on or wasted, and what does Spirit want you to know? All right, let's take a look here. I do feel drawn to these Soul's Journey lesson cards by James Van Prague. He's been a medium that's been around for a long, long time when being a medium wasn't popular, as it is now anyway. So let's take a look here and see what they want you to know about, just what spirit wants you to know, or what you've missed out on. Let's see what comes through here in these cards for you, Renee. Okay, they're definitely okay. There we go. So they're definitely full of energy, and this is the one that popped out here. So you've got imagination. Beautiful card. I love the greens in there and the little blues too. And it says, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And let's see here from his book here. It says, by its very nature, the physical body is limited by the three dimensions, but your mind is free to travel without boundaries and merge with the cosmic consciousness. Your mind is the great creator, and your imagination is its toolbox. Everything in life begins with the energy of imagination. Thoughts are real, and they can manifest themselves into the physical world. So train your mind to only have positive thoughts, and you will attract positivity into your life. If you can see it, you can be it. That's like a t-shirt. Visualize the components that you want in your life and imbue those thoughts with love, and they will become your reality. Conversely, if your mind strays to negative thoughts, you will only bring that energy to you. So be positive and loving. Imagination is creativity. Express yourself and let your imagination assist you in letting go of any creative blocks and allow your dreams to come true. Remember, you are not doing this for other people. It is your soul opening up and singing its own unique song. So I do like that. So when you're asking anything you've missed out on, wasted, what does spirit want you to know? It's like they're showing you two things with this. One, that whatever you focus on in thought and in emotion is what grows in your life. And so when you focus on what you're grateful for, what you want in your life, unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter, all those things that are your nature, your true nature of your higher self, that expands and grows. And when we focus on what we're fearing, what we don't want in our life, what we feel that we're missing, then that grows and expands. And so no moment is ever wasted. We never miss out on anything because we come down here to experience all these opposites. There's not a right or a wrong. Every moment is a choice of unconditional love and all that stuff related and rooted in it, and the fear of losing conditional love and everything related to that. And in spirit's mind, in the heavens and all the higher realms, they don't look at and go, oh, look, they chose wrong. They're just like, what are they going to choose next? And they see it as different choices that bring different impact. Things of unconditional love expand and bring joy and peace and patience and gratitude and all of that. Fear contracts, it limits, it makes us feel small, and we wanted to experience our smallness to be able to understand our largeness. If all we knew is how large we are, we don't really never know how large we are because we just are. But when we get to experience being a little tiny human, we understand, oh wow, look how big we are in comparison. It's like they're showing me those big, huge trees that grow. I think it's in Northern California. They're just like huge. And they show a picture of someone standing in, like a human. When you first see it, you're like, oh, it's a tree. But then when you focus and you're like, wait a minute, is that a little human standing there before this huge tree? Then you understand the expanse of it and what it is. And so that's one thing that they were looking at, letting you know around this. But the other thing is that there is a dream, there is something that's more in alignment with your higher heart of what you want to do and how you want to express that unconditional love uniquely with the world around you. And so it's not that you've missed it and that it's time wasted, but it is definitely this opportunity to really kind of step back, connect higher to your higher self. And that's the getting out of the mind piece of all the supposed tos, the shoulds, the need tos, these dreams that are given to us of what life is supposed to be like, supposed to, should, need to, have to, must. Those are all those expectations, and connecting to our higher heart, which is this is how I want to express love to the world. This is what brings my soul joy. And we start to look at the difference between the two, and we're able to, understand, well, this is what I want to do. Like for me, an example for my life, I was like, it's all about the money and the possessions and the home, and we're supposed to have a love or a lover in our life, and that's what's going to make us feel this. And then you start getting those things and you're like, eh, I don't feel like the woo that I was told I was going to feel, supposed to feel when I have these things. And then when my spiritual life, my true spiritual life outside of an organized religion, because I was even in an organized religion, and my relationship with the creator was awesome, but it was also restricted because of all the rules that organized religions can put around it, organized spirituality of whatever it is. When there's rules, it feels small and constricted, which was all the fear stuff, right? And when I tried to put the creator in boxes, and then the creator crushed all the boxes because they were so big. They didn't like, it was like I was trying to put him in there, and then it was like, oh, I crushed the box. I guess you don't fit in this box. And then the relationship, the one-on-one relationship expanded. And then I was like, wow, what I want for my life is to fill up with this love and flow out with it in whatever way, and to become a channel of unconditional love in whatever way. Mine happens to be in pulling cards, doing energy work, whatever it may be, but you can do it in any area of your life. You could be a supervisor and be like this loving supervisor that changes people's life, or you can be a doctor, like a medical doctor, change people's lives, or a nurse, or you can be, an accountant. You could do anything, and love can flow through it because it's us doing it. And so whatever you are wanting to do with your life, they're really zeroing in on that, and to say, how do you uniquely want to share that love with the world? And as long as you choose that, you can never go wrong because you are doing that. You can never make a wrong choice. It's going to be you expressing your love to the world and how you do it. So I love that for you, Renee. So that's what they have for you with your two questions there. And I'm so glad that you're like, yes, yes. And I can't wait to see what you do with that. So many, many blessings to you, Renee. And again, thank you so much for your donation. I do honor that. All right. So Shilpa, thank you for your donation. And you are up. Hello, hello. So you've chosen your minor specialization for your MBA degree, but later on, you're not happy with the same. Is your current specialization good for you, or should you change that? Okay, let's take a look here, and we can see what spirit will have. And what I'll do is, because they don't have a should up in the upper realms, because they are like, there's no right or wrong, there's just different outcomes. And so we'll pull cards for your current specialization, what energy it brings, and then if you change it to something else, what kind of energy comes with that. And then you can look at it and go, okay, that's the energy I want, not that. And then you get to make that beautiful power of choice. Hey, Iga Sadviga. Hopefully, I probably murdered that. My apologies. You can ask a question. I do go down in order of the free readings. And so what I'm doing now is I'm jumping out of order for whenever there's a donation made, I step out of the order, but then I will For free readings, I do go back up to the where I left off and continue going down the list. So that's how it works. You can just ask your question in chat, and then I'll eventually get down to that. Unless you make a donation, then I'll step out like I'm doing for Shilpa. So thank you so much for asking. And let's continue here. So let's take a look. So Shilpa. So your current specialization, if you continue on that path, okay, I didn't want those. What will that bring here for you? Okay. And then if you change your specialization, what kind of energy will that bring for you? Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay. Well, after saying all that, I kind of feel like the message is pretty clear for them that staying on your current specialization, you do end up making the change later anyway, because you have the King of Pentacles, which is like it you would have abundance, you would have this wonderful, fullness with it, but then you have new opportunities that open up. And I feel like you're saying that you kind of become bored with it, and you this change happens where you do change your specialization. Because they have with changing your specialization, they do have the balancing out of things, and the excuse me, the moon card, which is about cycles of change, the ebb and flow and the cycles of the moon, the going back and forth. I feel like you've been going back and forth between, ideas, and it's like, ebb and flow too. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. The cups go back and forth. The tempering is that things evolve as things go back and forth, and as you've been going back and forth around changing your specialization, things are becoming clear and clear and clear of what you want to do and where you want to go with it, because you do excuse me, have the Four of Wands, which not only is, and this is a new specialization that you're headed off into. You've got the celebration, the joy, also stable energy that comes in, and new passion, new emotion, excitement that comes in. So these definitely, I was like, all right, so this is, and then you have the Ten of Cups, which is joy, 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 and overflowing emotion as well. So I feel like the specialization that you um, chose first is like more money and more success outward oriented, but the specialization that you want to change to, not that it's, you know, no money or no, abundance. It's just it brings you joy, and it will make you, when you wake up in the morning to go, if the specialization impacts your what you do with your career, you won't wake up in the morning with your current specialization going, it's good money, but ugh, all right, let's go. It's good. Let's go. Takes you effort, and it's almost like it doesn't bring you a great amount of joy. It brings you money and maybe position, but that's it, right? And the other specialization that you're looking at choosing shows to be emotion and excitement. And like you wake up and you can't wait to get to work. You go early, you stay late because you are so excited and you love what you do. So I do see the difference between those two. And with that tower card, with that first one, it is, yeah, they're nudging you going, what's for your highest experience? What's going to bring you the greatest amount of joy is changing your specialization. So that's what is happening. So very clear message coming through for that. But if you're like, well, you know what? I don't care if I'm happy. I want money. well, then you know to choose number 1, but if you're just like, "You know what? What's wonderful is when we do what we love, the money doesn't matter as much, but the money and stuff comes because you go to work early and you stay late, work, it doesn't feel like work, and you have so much joy and so much, success because of that, that money automatically comes, promotions automatically come because they're just like, "Oh my gosh, you just change whatever field you're in amazing ways because of your joy and passion around it." So that's what I have for you, Shilpa. So again, thank you so much for your donation, and I do honor that. So thank you. All right. So let me take a look here. Esther, thank you so much for your donation. And so we will go to you next. So thank you so much. And you want to know, when will you get married and what will 2023 look like for you? All right. Let's find out what Spirit has for you. I know I can't believe 2023 is almost a week away. Can you believe it? Am I the only one that this year just went like very, 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 very fast? Oh, let me take a look here. Okay, very good. All right, Barbie, I don't see a donation coming through yet here. It might just take a time for it to update here. So I'll take care of Esther and then we'll take a look at that. All right. So, yeah, right? It just so okay, let's take a look at Esther. So, when will you get married? You sent a super chat. Let me see. Did I totally miss it? I apologize. Um, hmm. Well, I don't see one going through here, Barbie. So if you want to make sure that it actually went through, because it'll pop up here in big, bold, but it doesn't show anything there. So we'll take a look there. So, Esther, let's focus on your reading. When will you get married? Let's take a look here at that first. All right. So we'll start off with that, Esther. And it's interesting because you have the Four of Swords, which is peace of mind. So I think it's like, don't worry, it will happen. The thing that, like, there's this waiting period that's happening now. I mean, they are definitely saying that you do have um, the Knight of Cups, which is movement of emotion, and you have the Chariot, which is the major arcana of kind of emotion, because two horses are pulling the chariot. It's victory, it's movement, and power of choice a little bit too. But I feel like with both of these coming in, they're saying it will be soon. There is a movement, it's definitely coming. But they're like, while it's taking its good old time, and that's why I feel like they're like, have peace of mind, things are a coming. But the Nine of Swords is the insomnia card, it's the nightmare card. These are all the thoughts and beliefs and fears related to losing conditional love that are bouncing around in your head around marriage, around relationship. Who are you? Am I supposed to be in the relationship? How is the relationship supposed to be unfolded? Even when is the relationship going to happen? And we have all these rules and all these thoughts around it. And this is about the how you rest and get peace of mind is this Ace of Swords that they're sleeping on. These Three of Swords, the expectations basically represent all these expectations, because it's the heartbreak card. It's usually like a giant heart with three swords stuck in it, which is the expectations equal disappointment card. And So with that, this is like you're able to connect to the capital T truths of the higher realm, which then allows you to cut away just all these rules that are caging you in and bringing fear, and it allows you to have this restful, peaceful thing, knowing that whatever's going to unfold unfolds perfectly for you in the perfect timing. And it's that building of trust. The more we connect with the higher realms and those beliefs that are rooted in unconditional love, then we don't fear as much about all these opinions that we've been given all our life on how things are supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be. It just becomes exhausting. And that's then, the Nine of Swords is almost to the point of exhaustion, trying to live up to all those rules that we were given. And it's freedom that comes from it. You realize the cage that you're in around relationship, and then it's freedom that comes from it. And you can enjoy the moments more and allow the flow to come in, knowing that you're working. When things are slow, it's the spirit world putting like changing our regular flow of the movie to like frame by frame. If you do that like in a DVR or video or whatever you're watching, it's like it feels like it's taking forever. And it's when we realize it and we have that feeling of it's taking forever, it's like, oh, okay, so while spirit is slowing down our life, then we're able to look inward at our self-love. And because we can't love others more than to the extent we love ourselves, and we can't receive love from others more than to the extent we love ourselves. So when I love myself this much, no matter how much someone floods love, it's going to drip in to me. And then no matter how much love I want to send out, it's going to drip out to them. But if I expand my self love, then the flow of love becomes greater as well. So I really like that. And let's take a look here. What will 2023 look like for you? So, what does Spirit want you to know around 2023? Okay, anything else? Okay. So I should have said it out loud. In my head, I'm like, well, what about a relationship? Will a relationship happen in 2023? And you got the Two of Cups that came out. So relationship does come about in 2023. So I like that. So I don't I don't see that necessarily marriage happens next year, but you do get into a relationship, which is the beginning, right? And it's important to take time with that, because you do have next year you're leaving behind emotions that no longer serve you, which this person, they're walking away from these old emotions, serve their purpose, but they're heading off to the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. So I like that. You also have the Ten of Wands, which is burden that you've been carrying, you let go, and here you are starting a new journey. You're leaving behind old ways of thinking, old cycles, old beliefs, and this allows you, the Fool card is the first card in the major arcana, which is your soul, which is you starting off on this new journey, feeling free. See, not all the burden. You're just having this wonderful free flowing feeling instead of feeling overburdened. So I feel like you do this inner work, you do release yourself from so many of those supposed to, shoulds, and need tos and have tos. And it is a year of passion. The Knight of Wands is the fastest moving horse. So I feel like things just happen next year. Um, but also the knights all have a quest, which the Knight of Wands quest after the Ace of Wands, which is getting your power back and not having it, like that Ten of Wands is like investing so much energy into so many things, that you are really getting into this beautiful, beautiful place within you. You know, So that is what we're looking for in 2023, Esther, is a really this grasping of where you're investing your energy. And the more you focus on what you're grateful for and what you do want in your life, and joy and peace and laughter, that grows and that expands. And then when we focus, we learn that when we focus on what we feel we're missing, what we fear, what's in our life that we don't want, that expands. And so that Knight of Wands is the search of, I hold so much power in my life, and I want this to grow. And it's neither is right or wrong. We come here to experience that, but it's what do you want to experience? You get to choose that, and that's what comes in for you. So that is what they have for you, Esther. So thank you so much. And Barbie, I don't see a super chat at all. So I don't think it went through. If you do submit a super chat, then it will, like I said, it'll pop up in a big little colorful bar like everyone else's has. So if you do make that, then I will step out of line and of course go to your reading. But I don't see one there, so you might just double check that to make sure it went through. All right, so we will move back in order for the free readings, and we are on Anya Ahuya, and you want to know, will your wishes come true? Let's find out. Take a quick sip here. All right, so Anya, let's take a look here. Wishes. Okay, there we go. Will wishes come true? Let's see what they have here for you. So I like this. It's a complex message, right? Because will my wishes come true? Some, because you have the Page of Pentacles, which is new opportunities that come into your life. But they're really showing here, like, these are the wishes. I kind of feel like a genie appearing, going, "What are your wishes?" And like, here are my three wishes. But then we're looking at those, and the wishes that we think we want that come true, we're bored with. We don't really, it's like the wishes we were told that we'd want, like the, oh, I wish for all the money in the world. I wish for three more wishes, all those stories we hear about the genie, right? Um, but it's like spirit is offering you clarity on what will truly make you feel full, and clarity around what your true wish really is. Because it's like they're saying now that you have opportunities will come in, but it's not going to feel like wish fulfillment, because there's a greater wish. There's greater wishes that they can bring you clarity around. And so turning inward and upward and connecting to your spirit, higher self, and your spiritual posse, creator, um, the spirit world, that they will bring you clarity around your wishes. So I know it's like, well, okay, I get it. So they're inviting you to come inward and upward. And like they said, well, some of your wishes will come true, but it's small W wishes, which aren't going to feel like they're fulfilling like we think they will. They're like, there's capital T wishes that will bring you so much more, and connect to us, and we'll show you those. So I like that for you, Anya, because we have all sorts of experiences down here as humans, but one of the biggest ones is when spirit comes down and is a part of wish fulfillment in our lives too. So I like it. So that's what they have for you, Anya. So many blessings to you. You are very welcome, Esther. All right. So we will continue moving down the free readings, and Sio Shanta, hello. I'm feeling more and more recharged. I will rest some more, but I felt charged enough to come on today because this actually helps charge me in ways, especially when I don't have a headache and my head doesn't feel like a balloon. I have clarity and I get to feel you guys' love, which is great. And thank you again so much, everyone, for all the thumbs up you're giving the video too. That just helps spread the Zen love, and you're a part of the tsunami of love. So thank you so much for doing that too. I know it seems like a small thing, but it's actually helps out so much. All right. So you'd like a career and finance reading, see Shanta? Let's take a look and see what they have for you. So let's take a look. All right. Well. Okay. So, well, 10 of cups. So career and finance, I feel like you are going to feel this beautiful, beautiful wholeness and fullness. And I feel like uh, they're not focusing on um, money and abundance in the physical world in this particular reading. But it's emotional fulfillment. It's like you feel like your life is just full and overflowing in regards to your careers and finances, which is a good sign. I mean, um, it can mean, I mean, you do have the high priestess, which is you stepping away and really understanding what you want to do. Trust in your gut, trust in your intuition on what you want to do and how you feel about what abundance is, what a career and finance are to bring. And sometimes, if we have like this, I know when I like would play Powerball and I'm like, I want to be a billionaire. And then I could help so many people and do so many things. And I wouldn't have to worry about money. And then Spirit, was like, well, do you really need to worry about money? Do you not trust me that I will bring you what you need in each moment? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do. Well, then do you really need to be a billionaire? And I'm like, no, but it would be nice, you know? And then, we had this great conversation. Spirit's like, I will bring you everything you need in each moment. And here, like out of the blue, a beautiful, my host, a friend of mine, when I lived out of state, said, why don't you come and live in my basement for free? And I'm like, wow, that's like winning Powerball. I felt, I was like, really? No way. It learned me to receive as well, because, most of us here, of course, are huge, big givers, and to learn to receive is the challenge, right? And it's beautiful. And I feel like with the King of Swords coming in here too for you, Sio Shanta, the King of Swords not only rules over air, the mind, the thoughts, the beliefs, the mindsets, the expectations, but all the kings are given an extra portion of air. So he's double air. A lot of, with that Ace of Swords going in and understanding our thoughts, our beliefs, and our mindsets around career and finance. I feel like there's a lot of freedom that comes with that, which allows you to really have this huge gratitude and thankfulness for every step of the way. And you see how abundant that your life is. And I feel like with career and finance, they're just showing you that doing what you love that 10 of cups is just love. It's like enjoyment, doing what you love and enjoying each moment with full gratitude just shows you everything you need to know about your career, what you want to do with your life, how you want to express that love to the world. What are you going to enjoy doing every day before when you go in for it? Waking up early, going in, staying late, it's just a beautiful, beautiful, you know, uh, charge that comes from that. And then the finances come because when you do what you love, people feel it too, and they get excited. And if it's like you're an entrepreneur, people are drawn to that light and that love. If you are in a business and you have bosses, they are like, "Oh my God, we love you." You do so much, and it's not even that you have to do a lot of work. It's you expressing your passion and your love, just it happens. I know when I was in corporate life, when I would try hard for bonuses and promotions, I'd barely meet. And I'm like, "You're kidding me. I'm doing all this stuff, and that's how you see that?" And when I would go, "Well, forget it. I'm just gonna enjoy the job and do what I love," then I would get bonuses out of nowhere, promotions, and I'm like, "I'm doing, like, half as much." And then but it was all the energy behind it that changed everything. So I feel that's what the message right now for you is, Siwa Shanta, is just get into that heart and let that passion, flow out into the world. So I like it. So that's what they have. So many blessings to you. Rishi, you'll be the next free reading, but thank you so much, Crow's Nest, for your donation. And we will step out and take care of that for you here. So let's take a look. So, how does Brandon feel about you? Yes, blessings to you too. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all the beautiful things that everyone celebrates. Just the beautiful love. May the love we feel during these holidays may be with us every day of the year. So, what are his next actions towards you in the near future, too? So, let's take a look here and see what does Spirit want you to know. So, let's talk about Brandon. Okay. Well, Brandon, he is in his little, okay. Yeah. He seems to be very introverted right now, it appears. Okay. I see. So let's take a look here. So they wanted to start off with that, but what are the feelings? Okay. And next actions. All right. Well, I do like this, but like the first card that came out is okay. So tell us about Brandon. Well, Brandon's on his little hermit inner journey going on. And I'm like, okay, can I have clarification? Yeah, he's pulled back like a high priestess into his high priestess temple, doing a lot of inner work, understanding himself, doing that thing. Okay, well, tell me more about that. Well, it's all about his heartbreak of the past and his disappointments, and he's figuring things out. So he's dealing with past heartache, disappointments and stuff. So he's in his little, his little, you know, temple on his little inner journey. So if you feel like he kind of feels like he's got walls up and stuff, and that's it, that would be yes, you're spot on and picking that up, but it's not about you specifically. It's about that they want to get over old heartache and disappointments and look at their expectations and really get things in order in their lives, and that's what's kind of going on with all of that. Because yeah. So it's, you have this balancing that's going on here because the Queen of Swords, she rolls over air, but all the queens are given water. So that's balancing of the mind with the heart. Then you have the King of Cups who rolls over water, but all the kings are given air. So it's the balancing of emotion with mind. So he definitely has this going back and forth between mind and heart going on. And it's, um, on purpose for a purpose. And because you have the Four of Wands, which is marriage, a marriage card, and it is relationship, it is joy and celebration. But I feel like that's what that they're balancing out in their mind and their heart because of that past, this is what's standing in the way of this for the future for him, and he knows it. And so he's trying to take these swords out of his heart so that he can have this. And I like that. What is the movie? As Good as It Gets, I feel. It's if you've seen the movie, it's with oh, crazy man from The Shining. I forget it. Well, you can look up the movie As Good as It Gets if you're familiar with it too. But there's a waitress and there's a guy that has difficulty with his his mind, and he has to like walk. He can't walk on cracks. He has to knock or unlock things and light switches. He's got all this stuff that's going on with him, and and he's telling her all this stuff, and she's just like, "Oh my god, what are you trying to tell me?" And he's like, "I just want to tell you that." When I get off my meds, this kind of stuff happens, but you make me want to be on my meds. You make me to want to be a better man. And it's like, wow, it's like this really gets you know, in your heart. And I feel like that their emotions for you make them want to work on this. They avoided this before, but because of you, they do want to take these things out because they do want to be able to get into this joy, the celebration, commitment, marriage type of thing eventually with you. But they know that they can't when they deal with if they don't deal with that stuff. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because here is them coming in offering love, them being their true authentic selves, this Three of Pentacles, I feel. Yeah, you're right. I should have told you. There's a lot of these are the last cards though. But so it's like the Three of Swords, they are able to look past the expectations. They're able to express their true unique selves and offer love here. And then once it happens, it almost comes out of nowhere. Like you're like, oh my gosh, there's this. The Eight of Wands is about a lot of energy, fast and furious movement, and this is movement of love too. so he does get through it. It just takes time. Exactly. It's like when that last heart is pulled out, I mean, the last, sword is pulled out of his heart, then he's like, "Bam!" shoo, and then it moves fast, but it's they're still working on that, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, because they know it's like we were talking about before, they know that, yeah, right? It's like, who knew? A responsible choice like that? But, as I was saying earlier, you know, he's really understanding that he can't love someone more than to the extent he loves himself, and he knows that he can't receive love more than to the extent that he loves himself, and so he's working on his self-love to expand his heart so he can give more love and receive love too, because he understands that's important to be able to receive love from someone for that person's sake, but also to be able to give love. So I like it. I mean, very like you said, very responsible. It's like, whoa. It's just like it just makes you see someone in a different light. Like, wow, you really are working on yourself because you want to be able to love and be loved. And wow. And then while we're waiting, we can use that as a mirror, right? We can go like, oh, okay, while you're working on your self-love, I also want to be able to give you love and receive love from you. So I want to expand my heart and my self-love. So you working on you, I can't do anything about that. I can work on myself and my own self-love. What restrictions, what expectations, what pain of my past, what disappointments of my past, I I have to deal with that. I am the only one that can, and that's the only thing that they can do too. So that is what they have for you, Crow's Nest. I like that. I am not jealous at all. Because I'm happy by myself. But I am so happy for you, and I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love around this. So I like it. Yes, you are very welcome, and a good Christmas to you as well. So thank you again for your donation. I do honor that so much. All right. So, Christy, you are up next. And oh, yeah, any amount is a beautiful donation. I know we all are at different, um, you know, income levels at different times in our life, and sometimes it varies from day to day, week to week. So, you are no need to be sorry at all. I do honor your donation, Christy. And you'd like to get an angel message card. And I do have an angel guide, a soul journey, an ask your guide, and an angel and ancestor oracle. And but this one, the angels and ancestors are the ones that are wanting to speak to you. So let's take a look here and see what they have for you. All right. And you've got the broken arrow. And it's a good sign. A broken arrow is not meaning you're broken. It's an embrace the energy of peace. A broken arrow is like a a sign of peace, like in the Native American traditions. They break the arrow to show that they're not going to be at war. So so it says, let go of the need to defend yourself and prepare to offer peace. You are safe. Just as the arrow card symbolizes defense and protection, that they just an arrow card, the broken arrow card symbolizes peace. Oh, and as I was saying, in Native American traditions, a broken arrow would mean that tribes were no longer fighting one another, but were making alliances. And when you see a broken arrow in a meditation, a vision, a dream, or a reading, it is a message that you no longer need to fight because peace has arrived. This is a powerful symbol of harmony, serenity, and community. If you've been exposed to a situation in which you have felt the need to protect yourself or defend what you feel is right, know that this is now coming to an end. With the arrival of the broken arrow card, you're being guided to know that the energies of light are entering to wash away all the darkness. You can drop your shields and protection. You are now in a situation that will honor you and honor your needs. Arguments are ending and disagreements are being resolved. Prepare to talk things through and offer the peace that you would like to enjoy. In order to move forward in a more fearless way, it's important for you to let go of the idea that you can be hurt by this situation or the people involved, because this will only work against you. Know that your angelic guides and ancestors are standing around you, protecting you, and taking you lovingly forward. Wow. I like that for you, Christy. And what really stands out to is the moving forward in a fearless way. It's important to let go of the idea that you can be hurt by a situation, by someone else's actions. And so there's this powerful message in here that other people's actions are just actions. And usually they're either going to be of unconditional love or of the fear of losing conditional love. So if you're not getting this unconditional love vibe from someone, then they're in fear, and they are their little child self has felt out of control or unsafe in some way, and so they have gone into their cat mind, and so they're hissing and attacking, or hissing and running away, or attacking and then running away. And there is this beautiful awareness that comes in that when it's a hissing cat, it's not personal. It's like when you're holding a cat with claws and someone slams the door, the cat doesn't go, excuse me, put me down, if you would, I'm about to freak out. They just and up over your shoulder, leaving blood marks with their claws as they go up around. And but it's not personal. They're just acting in defensive scaredy cat mode. And so when people act that way in unloving and unintelligent ways, that they're just in their cat mind. And when we can look at that and go, "Oh, okay, I don't allow their actions to define me or impact me or make me fear be fearful, I just realize, okay, that is a cry of love from people when they act that way, because that little child inside of them, it's like a little 2-year-old that got scared, and they're just like freaking out and doing whatever they can do to feel safe and in control again. And with us, if we go into scaredy cat mode, there's going to be a cat fight, or the cats head off in opposite directions, right? So when we realize what's going on, then we don't have to be fearful. We don't have to go into the cat protective mode. We can just go, oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. How can I help them feel safe and in control again? Only thing we can do is give unconditional love, and that's what helps with that. But that's what they have for you, Christy, and I absolutely love that message for you. You are safe. So thank you again so much for your donation. I so greatly appreciate you, and I honor that. All right. So let me take a look here. I'm just going to see here. I got an email. Okay, nope, that is not a donation. So we will continue with the the free readings, and we left off with Rishi. Hey, hey, yes, I am feeling so much better, so much better. I'm gonna take a quick sip of the coffee though. So, Spirit's advice on how you can forgive people who you have felt hurt by. And let's take a look here. I do want to go to the Ask Your Guides Oracle here. Let's see what they have here. What would they like you to know? And I'm sure we all can use that advice in our lives, right? So we all experience that very much in all of our human lives. So we've got the balance card here in Divine Teachers. I love that picture. And let's see what that is. Card number 36. So you're in the delicate process of learning how to properly balance the flow of give and take in your personal relationships, and it's time to evaluate how you're doing. Are you giving too much, leaving you resentful and angry? Or are you withholding when you could give more, leaving you feeling guilty and defensive? Your divine teachers can help you learn to how to better align your relationships so that you neither give nor take too much as a means of controlling others. They counsel you to be honest about your motivations when dealing with others and know in your heart of hearts what drives your interest in them. Do you give with a secret agenda of you owe me? Do you create dependency in and control over others with your kindness? Or do you withhold for fear that you might be taken advantage of, keeping people guessing about your motives and your intentions? Your divine teachers are on hand to help you answer these questions. And they lovingly assure you that relationships are the most difficult of all spiritual classrooms, and the lessons of proper give and take are the most difficult of skills to learn. Well, they definitely are bringing you information, right? Have compassion for yourself as you seek balance with others. Ask your divine teachers to help you become more aware of how you give and receive in all relationships, not just the romantic kind. Their message to you: there's no difference between giving and receiving love. Wow. So, yeah, definitely it's about balancing, and I like the message of relationships are probably one of the most difficult classrooms that we learn about love through. And you know, really when they're looking at here about, first we'll take the piece of people who have hurt me. Spirit really has clarified that in my life, and that's what they're bringing through here right now, is that people can't hurt me. That's my job. I can only hurt myself. People have actions in the outside world, and they just, like we were just talking about, if it's not unconditional love that I'm experiencing in a situation, then there's fear that is happening in this situation. Both fear from inside myself about what their actions, I, what story I'm putting into their actions about myself, and what emotions I'm choosing to feel about their actions. Their actions are just their actions. They are, if they're not bringing unconditionally loving actions or words, then they're bringing fearful actions and fearful words of where they're at, because they, like I was talking about, they're in their cat mind. They're acting like a cat. If a cat attacks me, if a cat screams and meows at me or scratches me, I might get angry and upset at the beginning, but then I realize it's a cat. It's just doing cat things. It's reacting um, out of fear, because a cat will purr and come up to us, and when it's feeling loving and it's in feeling safe or hungry. But when something scares it and it feels something, it will do whatever it needs. And so other people's actions are not about us. And when we really realize that, we can really sit in that I am the one that's assigning a definition to their actions. I'm the one who's choosing to feel a certain way about their actions. Because, you know, I know in my life now, things that used to hurt me when I was younger, I don't even realize it anymore. People are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "What are you apologizing for?" "Well, I said this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, don't worry about that. I didn't even know. I didn't even register that that was something, because I've learned um, about my power of choice of I get to decide what something means and how I feel. Now, I still have occasionally things pop up. We always will with humans, because there's something that I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't aware of that." That was still bubbling down underneath the surface, and that's when people are our mirrors, and they bring things up for us to see these things. And then I'm like, "Ah, okay." So when someone uh, does something where I feel abandoned, I'm like, "Okay, this isn't about this situation. This is about something that happened much younger in my life. This is just an echo." Because when something happens the first time, we don't really have this emotional pain around things normally. It's when it something happened earlier in our life, the first times that things happened, it's echoes. So forgiveness, and I read something, there was I'm going to pull this up here, because it came through in a reading. It was so powerful. It was a live reading, I think, last week. It was in one of the angel cards, I think, but it talked about forgiveness is not only letting go of our judgment that we have around someone, but also seeing through this illusion that we're separate. Because all wounds stem from this illusion that we're separate from the Creator, that we're separate from each other. But when we remember that we are all little drops in the sea of unconditional love, and that on the other side, doing something to someone is like doing it to yourself. When we come down here, we forget that for a while, right? We're come down here to experience separateness. And because of that, when someone does something, we feel like, "Oh, you're doing something to me," rather than they're doing something for me, because that's what we do on the other side, is we're always doing things for each other. And down here, that's what everyone is. They're being a mirror for us, trying to show us what we want to see about ourselves. And we don't need to forgive the action, just the person, so that you can be at peace. And it says, "Look at the high price that you pay for being the vessel of anger or fear." It doesn't mean what happened is okay, just that we are no longer willing to carry around pain in response to someone else's actions. Powerful. When we hold unforgiveness or fear in our hearts, we only punish ourselves, after all. And we can ask angels and spirit to help us release unforgiveness if we ask for their assistance as well. So I feel like that's what their messages are. And I feel like this was more for than just you and for me, of course. That's when they usually go in such detail. It's for whoever else was listening to this in this moment. So um, that's what they have for you right now, Rishi. So many blessings to you and hang in there. All right. So, LA, you will be the next free reading. Let me just double check here. All right. Very good. So, I don't have any other donations. So, we will continue down the free list. So, LA, will your mom get into a relationship in 2023? All right. Let's find out what spirit wants you to know. So, will your mom get into a relationship? Okay. I like where this is headed. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I like it. So this is the first card that popped out, which tells me yes, because here she is leaning up against a tree, looking at the old relationships, going, "Ugh, do I really want one?" But then this new love is offered to her this next year, and it does abundance, wholeness, fullness. So, this definitely is a great card to get. It's her life feels full because of it, but it does take time. There is a movement of thought and belief, moving from old ways of thinking around relationships into new ways of thinking. And this is what she leaves behind: the old disappointments, the old heartbreaks. This year, she really works through those and moves from these three swords to three new swords, which are of higher love, of higher ways of thinking. And so she releases her fears around relationship this year. And Ace of Wands, new passion, new excitement, new energy that comes in. So it almost is like she becomes someone new. you know I kind of feel like maybe some past heartache, some past pain has just made her kind of, I won't say bitter, but bitter. Against, it's fearful is what it is. It's fearful towards relationships. Bitterness is a protective wall of, I don't want to be hurt again, and that's all that is. And she's really working through that because she's, understanding, I don't want to feel that way again, and I don't need to feel that way again. It doesn't mean that because that happened that it'll continue happening with other people. So I like that for you. So yay, mama finds a relationship next year. I like it. All right. So many blessings to you. All right. Hey, Rob KZ. You are up next, and thank you so much for your donation. So, Mac, how does Kirsten feel about you, and will she be back together with you in a relationship? What will her next actions? All right, let's take a look here, see what Spirit has for you. All right. Nope, they don't want all those. Let's hit this one. Okay, what else? They are just rolling it out one at a time. All right. And then they're like, well, fine. And then they shoot out 4 cards. All right. I like this. Let's see. So is this, let me get clarity on this one here. Is this, thank you. I receive all your blessings. I will take those, and you are very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate the energy exchange for sure. Bretta Zen does enjoy eating, and so he appreciates donations. All right. So I do like this. It is so you have like this new beginning coming in here, the ending of old cycles and the beginning of new things. Um, when we're asking about how does she feel about you, I kind of feel like there's this she's letting go of old ways, and she's really looking into her emotions and her thoughts. The Queen of Cups is like double water, so she is deep into her emotions, really letting a lot of stuff go. And it has to do around with her tendency and codependency, her codependent tendencies to overgive and not allow someone to give to her. And she's really looking into that. And it all has to do with relationship, how she looks at relationships. So it's like she's on this new journey, and she's leaving, like trying to leave everything behind that no longer serves her. She's seeing um like I said, the tendencies and her patterns and her habits of how it impact her relationships of the past. Not just you. She sees the pattern that has happened where because of her younger years, she always felt like she had to overgive in order, like, give 1,000 to get one back. And so she wouldn't allow a lot to give, and she would resist being able to receive, which of course then makes, whoever she's in a relationship with feel like a heel, right? It's like, well, why I feel like a child and you're treating me like, like I'm a child and you're an adult. You can only take care of me and do this, but you won't allow me to give to you. So I feel like I have to be able to give somewhere. And that just make they just get exhausted and overgiving and resentful and overgiving. So that's what I feel like Kristen is was going through, is understanding all of that. Um, so I really feel like with all of that, it's difficult to get past that. It's difficult because we are beings of memory, and no matter how much we try to change things, we can change our habits and how we approach things, but what happens then is that we still have a memory of the old. So like with you, they just remember the old situations they had with you and the old themselves. So when you interact with someone, that's why when people have affairs or people have situations where there's just some really clashing, we can change for future relationships and future interactions, but we go into old habits and old patterns. It's like when you get around your family, if don't live near them and you are a different person, but when you go back to hang out with your family, you become a 5-year-old again, and you guys have fights, and it's like, "That's not me." But it's like, well, we just revert back into old personalities around with people. Or if you have an accent and you move away, and then you, go back and hang around, your accent kicks back in. But that's what they're showing there, and I feel like, um with the other cards, I feel we get more into talking about you and your future, because I feel like this one is like they're looking at themselves, and they're moving forward, not being able to go backward. And so I feel like that they are doing a lot of their inner work and moving forward, and then this is what is happening for you too, that during this time you are looking into your expectations and thoughts and beliefs about yourself with the Page of Swords, really understanding what you've learned and gleaned from the mirror that they were for you, that they showed you what you wanted to see about yourself and about your fears and about the expectations you have around relationships and love. And you're being freed from things. That Ace of Swords allows you to cut away, those things. There is movement here happening for you too. Um, you have the Temperance card, which I feel like you've been working through things. Things feel like they've been like kind of dragging on, but that's because during that time they did want you to be able to look at these things. And so this time is still, I feel like you're still in this and you're working on that, because you do have the Eight of Swords, which is you discovering what about yourself, what your thoughts and your beliefs and mindsets were making you feel blinded and bound and trapped. And this, Ace of Swords that the Page of Swords carries allows you to cut away these thoughts and these beliefs. These are all fears of losing conditional love, these, the entrapment that has happened with the old thoughts and beliefs and mindsets. And then the other thing was the Five of Cups, which is, a mourning of the cups that have been spilt, the disappointments that you had in the relationship and your past relationships. But you're taking this time to reflect and into these things, because when you do, then you turn around and you're ready for a relationship that's at a different level, as well. You know, the so I feel like it's you both are on this mirror journey of reflecting on those things from your past, not just this past relationship, but others, and understanding what patterns do you see about yourself in each one of those, and those fears that show up over and over again, right? Showing themselves. But then, like I said, you do once, and you'll know it because things are slow. Things slow down for you to give you time to work on all of that. That's where that temperance card comes in with their balancing things back and forth, which is things are your emotions and your beliefs around relationship are transforming. But then you do move on, as they also move on, because she's headed off, but then so are you. Whoops. Because you have the Knight of Wands, which is fast movement, and the Chariot, which is movement. So there is this movement that you have, and it moves you into this place, because your beliefs, your energy around relationships is changing, because you're not wanting to get what you always got in this relationship and others. You're realizing that if I continue to believe about myself and have these beliefs, I'll continue to get that. But you're raising your vibration, you're raising it to a bigger self-love that will attract something more in alignment with what your true wishes are, which the Star card is a wish fulfillment card. You get what is more aligned with what you're wishing for in your heart of hearts than what your mind has been telling you that you want, because your mind takes you into the fear, which is a lower vibration, but your heart, your higher heart, takes you into a higher place that's freer and draws in something more. So that's what they want for you, Mac. I know, just allow Kirsten and past relationships to be a mirror showing you what you wanted to see about yourself, so you can release those things. And then you're able to move forward into a beautiful love that is more in alignment with who you are, wanting to be and destined to be. So that's what they have for you, Mac. Again, thank you so much for your donation. I really do honor that, and thank you. All right, Elisa, you are the next reading, and thank you for your donation. And you said question below, or there it is. So how does F feel about you now? He disconnected after you told him you were diagnosed with a personality disorder. Okay, let's take a look here. See what's going on with F. Tell me more. You are very welcome. Many blessings to you as well. Thank you. Just getting some clarification here. Well, okay. What's that there? All right. So the current feelings that they have for you right now, I mean, you got the Two of Pentacles here, which is about them seeking balance, right? But the Three of Wands is that they're headed off in a different direction. And what I felt, because I was trying to get clarity through the cards, but they were like, "We already told you." And so I like to have the cards to show you, but sometimes they're just like, just just trust the message that they're giving is that um, the reason they freaked out about the personality disorder has to do with pain in their past. You know, they are seeking balance, and because they had an imbalanced childhood. And it could be something along the lines, I'm feeling like they had like a parent that had a personality disorder of some kind, that it just freaked them out because of their experiences that they had. They felt out of control, they felt fear, they felt neglected, they felt abandoned. And so when you shared that, it scared them because it reminds them of that. And that whether they are conscious of it or not, their reaction was based on those experiences they had. And that is the mirror that you needed to bring to them in this moment of their life. That your divine um, um, appointment that you had with each other was for you to have this, to draw that in, but then to show them that this is how it is, and so that's what happened. I really feel like that you will not reconnect, that they're headed off in this other direction. Especially, this is you, and the rest of these cards are all for you, which is awesome because these are awesome cards. But you have the Seven of Pentacles here, is like, um, it's like it takes time for fruit to grow, and when you see the fruit, you're like, well, that's not really what I want anyway, and you're headed a different direction. And this is an important thing to recognize, that both of you are headed off in different directions, because this was destined to be for you, so that you could see that and you could understand that. Because for you, I'm like, with them being removed out of your life, because people don't leave us, people are moved out of each other's lives on purpose, for a purpose. And that's the way it works. We have these soulmates. We have tons of soulmates, friends, family, different things like that, that are all these agreements for us to, really see ourselves and understand ourselves. And then, but you have new passion coming in. You have Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. You have victory coming in. This beautiful, this is probably the most victorious card, if not definitely the top five, coming in. You have the Chariot card, which is all about victory and movement. You have the Lovers card. So you have this that comes forward for you. And so there's this beautiful, beautiful um, awareness that comes from this, that you get to deserve to be loved in your, in your way. Um, Yeah, and so the love that you feel within you, you get to show this to someone else, obviously, with the Lover's card. But it was important for you to face this fear of, well, I felt I needed to share this with someone, and then I get rejected for it. It's like, no, you get to, with the Hierophant here, this is you discovering your truth, you being you. You are the, perfect individual for yourself, and you get to stand within your truth and not be afraid of not standing in your truth. That there's someone that bring, that will honor that, and that it actually makes them, I would say that it attracts them to you, because that sounds kind of weird, right? Like, oh, you have a personality disorder? I like that. You're just like, oh, wow. But it's more that they love your awareness. They love how you understand yourself. They love how you can be your true authentic self and you don't hide yourself. That is what they're attracted to, and that you're able to do that, and you deserve that. Where with the other, it's like, I you would never, if like you guys get back together, you'd always have this fear that I can't mention that because I'll be afraid that they'll leave again, right? So psh, 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 psh. Exactly. And here's the Queen of Cups, which is the beautiful, beautiful queen who rolls over emotion. And not only does she roll over emotion, but all the queens are given a second helping of emotion. So deep, deep, deep emotions, emotions. So, um, are you perhaps a water sign or have a water moon? Because you are very intuitive. You pick up a lot of people's emotions. And sometimes when we get diagnosed with personality disorders by humans, it's because we have a deep, deep intuition and we feel everyone else's emotions. We pick up on everyone else's emotions. And yeah, Pisces moon. I'm a Pisces moon too. Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely you can feel like you're an emotional mess, especially around you're impacted by moons quite a bit. You have a lot of dreams, and all emotions are magnified, especially around a full moon. New moons bring us weird energy too. It's like you're never, you know, water moons. People who don't have water moons, everyone gets impacted by moon energy because we're water. We're all bodies are made of water, and the moon impacts our emotions, and so we all get impacted by it. But most people will have like this is their norm, and then a full moon happens, and then they come out. Then a new moon happens, and then a full moon. But water moon people will, they never like this is the norm, like a uh, kind of like stable emotions that are not being impacted by moon energy. We are full moon, and then we come down, and then nope, new moon, and then oh nope, full moon, and so we are always up with that. Yeah. So just understanding your emotions have a lot to do with the moon cycles and moon, as well. Definitely, if you don't follow the moon cycles, I encourage you to do so. I mentioned that in my weekly energy updates, the moon, especially new moon and full moon. So check those out. Um, but definitely, it's like someone that will embrace. You probably end up with someone with a water moon because they'll be like, you know what? Like, yeah, and you're a Gemini, which I'm an Aquarius. So I'm Aquarius, sun, and then Pisces moon. So, you have the Aquarius is known as the multiple personality of the zodiac. Gemini is the split personality of the zodiac. And then the moons, Pisces moons, is so dreamy and up and down emotions. So it's like I feel ya. I understand. But definitely. Oh yeah, yeah. But the Gemini, they'll go into their mind as well. But your water is what helps balance that out, or takes us in the other extreme. But I do feel this is wonderful, journey that you're on, and you will, you know, just know that that happened on purpose for a purpose for you to really uh, face that fear of, you know, we all we all come out in some way, in one way or another, in our entire lives. And it's, whether it is talking about a personality disorder, or if your sexual orientation, or you don't want to be in the family business, or you want to be an artist instead of a doctor, or whatever it might be. We all have these times where we're, even coming out, um, to I came out to my family as a mystic, because they're very an organized religion, and for me to come out to them going, "I speak to spirit," what? It's like we all have these things. We face these fears, and when we do, then we feel even more comfort to be ourselves and know that there's people out there that love us for who we are. And then when people don't, they're scared too. Yeah, yeah, right. They're like, basically anything that we have, that humans put things like your personality is different. It's not in order of what the norm is. We're like, thank God, I don't want to be normal. And it's like, yeah, sensitivity pattern would be definitely a water moon. We all have extreme sensitivity. So developing your intuitive gel around your life is huge. Yeah, it's you know, we all have empathic abilities, but depending on your chart, you're given even expansive ones. Pisces moons, expansive psychic ability, connection to spirit, which makes you extra sensitive everything, which means it's really important to build up like a gelatin that you put around, you know, um, around yourself, where still are able to feel people's emotions. They just get stuck in the gelatin and they don't get sucked into you. And for all of you who have empathic abilities that pick up, and feel like, oh my God, it feels like a curse sometimes. Well, it's developing that buffer, which is an important piece of it, but that's just a small piece of your gift. Empathic abilities is emotional abilities where we all have this huge pipeline which goes out into the emotions. And when we don't have emotion that we're pushing out to the world, it just like the emotions come in into us. But if we have the ability to push out unconditional love, and when unconditional love is shooting out of the fire hose, it's like a fire hose when it's turned on. That's so much pressure and so much power that goes out, and nothing can go in that hose. And so the more we push out unconditional love, we allow ourselves to fill up and push out unconditional love, the more we are changing the emotions around us to be that of unconditional love, and we're not sucking in all the chaos and lower vibrational emotions that are flying all over the world, right? So it's beautiful, a beautiful awareness to look into building that flow of love outward and seeing the power that you have too. So I really like that for you, Lisa. I'm so glad you brought this up, and thank you for sharing that in, to everyone. You are brave, and I love where this is taking you. So thank you again so much for your donation. I do honor that. And many, many blessings to you. I'm excited to see what you do. All right. So we'll continue. We're headed up to the top of the second hour that I've been on. And so I'd like to do a public service announcement. I will be on for about 30 more minutes or so. And so I do try to get through as many of the free readings as possible. But if you want to make sure that I do get to your reading within this um, session, then just a donation, like as you've seen, I will make sure I complete that in this session. And if I'm unable to get down to the bottom, which I know I'm not going to, I think I've done like 6 or 7 free readings because of those that needed readings today with donations. And I understand you're not always able to give donations, and I totally understand that. But if I'm unable to get down to you, I will, of course, be back here in about 6 hours for my evening session, at least evening where I'm at. So be sure to come back. I do announce it an hour before, and if you you can actually comment as soon as that comes out. So if you haven't put on the notification to be notified, then because you'll be notified when I put out the notification that I'm going live. And you can put questions, and I will definitely go through free readings. But you can also, if you need an answer now before then, I do have a ton of free content that I put out, and I've got the playlists like pick a card readings, weekly energy updates, portal readings, monthly readings, all sorts of even solstice readings, equinox readings. So there's a ton of free content that I put out. And so if you need an answer now and I'm unable to get down to you in this session, then if you go to the playlist, just follow your heart and spirit will guide you to the playlist and the reading for you with the answers in there because they are smart that way. Like I said, I am here twice a day, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So 11 a.m. in the morning Mountain Time, and then every night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So you have all that available. So that's been the public service message. So I'll continue going in through as many free readings as I can. And then, like I mentioned, if you could do a donation, I will step out, complete that, and then continue going down those readings. So there you go. All right, now back to the regular scheduled program. So Angel Bliss, you are the next that is up, and you'd like advice for next week. Absolutely. Let's take a look here. Okay. What else? All right. Let's see what this is about here. Okay. All right. So next week is looking good for you. And the other cards show this. This one, you're like, what? This looks good? Yeah, it actually is a good card, though, because the 10 of swords is the endings and new beginnings. You are exhausted trying to live up to everyone's expectations and all the supposed to, the should, the need to, the have to, the must that are all unfolding here. And you're ready. This person's not dead. They're exhausted trying to live up to all that. They're looking away at the sun. The sun is rising. Beautiful things are coming because of that. You know, there's some old emotions, some old memories that, you know, we have emotional experiences that we then create rules to not feel pain again and rejection, and also to try to feel praise and support. Well, these you're just tired of it. You're just tired of it. And so you're ready to move beyond that, which brings in this beautiful tower. I know these together, you're like, what? But this is the moving of things out of your life, the blocks, the individuals or situations or memories that are keeping you from moving forward or to allowing things to come into your life. So the tower happens for us, not to us. So things are getting moved out of your way. People are being moved out of your way. People and things are being removed out of your life to create the space for this, which is 10 of cups. Look at joy overflowing, just beautiful, beautiful, emotional contentment and overflowingness in your life. And so just know that with this thing that's happening next week, with all this shaking, rattling, and rolling, that you are letting go of things so that you can make the space and be able to move forward towards that instead. So, with whatever is happening next week, just realize it's happening for you and it's not happening to you. So, I like that for you. And that's what they have, Angel Bliss. So easy breezy, right? So many blessings for you. All right. So Skyfalls, you will be the next free reading coming up. And you would like messages from your ancestors. And I actually do have Angels and Ancestor Oracle. So let's take a look here. And you've got the fire guardian, which is ignite your passion. Let's see what they bring in here for you. Yeah, connect with your desires. The sparks could lead to something beautiful. And the fire guardian represents the angels of fire. And fire is an energy that many people are afraid of, but don't need to be, because burning desires can lead to great expansion. Allow the fire guardian to help you awaken a wilder side of yourself and burn away any fear or shame that stands between you and your desires. When this card appears, you're reminded the passion is powerful and absolutely encouraged by spirit. So you're being guided by your angels and ancestors to connect with the powerful energy of desire at this time. If you've recently set an intention to explore your sexual side or become more sexually open, the fire of desire can burn away any old setbacks that are preventing you from expressing that part of your nature. If you're in a relationship, this card can indicate a greater spiritual or intimate connection as well. So, whether it is about your expressing that passion, that physical passion within you, or spiritual, or just desire for things in life, that's very much Wands energy. It's your passion, desire, energy, and they're telling you to don't dim your light, don't dim your desire and your passions. Allow your passions to come out. And sometimes it's a passion that is of our mind, from the past, a supposed to, a need to, a have to, that we've been convinced it's supposed to be. When you express it, you're like, oh, whoops, sorry, that's not what I want. And expressing it gets it out, though. And then you're just like, okay, that's not what I want for my life. But allowing yourself to feel, allowing the desire to show up, allows you to kind of do a litmus test of what is of your true joy and what is of a promised joy of an old opinion. And then you're just like, oh, it's like, I really want cheesecake. I really want cheesecake. And now I really do want cheesecake. But um, it's like, if I keep that desire down, then I'll eat an entire cheesecake and get sick and be like, this is really what I wanted. But if I have a little piece of cheesecake, it might be like, eh, it's not what I thought it would be. Then I won't end up eating a whole cheesecake and have it impact my life in a big way. So that is what they have for you right now, Skyfall. So hopefully that makes sense to you and it resonates. So many, many blessings to you. All right. So, Shrani Nagosi, you will be the next free reading coming up. And I'm staying single. Hey, you don't have to convince me. You're speaking to the choir. Unless there's someone amazing that comes into our life, because you always got to leave that open, that I don't want any of the relationships I had in the past because I learned what I needed from them. However, if there's one that is for my highest experience, we're open for that. But the chances of that are unlikely. But there are miracles. All right. So, Sharani Nagosi, future reading for you. Let's take a look here and see. All right. All right. Yeah, I do see this here. So I do show here that what a wonderful transformation that you're going to have here in the future. There's been some heartache, some disappointment of things in your life, but you have the Page of Swords along with this. So that's promising because you have the Ace of Swords, which allows you to see things from a higher perspective. And it allows you to cut away these thoughts and these beliefs and these mindsets that bring you disappointment, these desires, opinions, all the small t truths that are rooted in the fear of losing conditional love, all these restrictions, all this supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos and musts that you've been fed all your life, which always just end up disappointing us in one way or another. But this Page of Swords frees you from that. It allows you to see what your truth is. The Hierophant has one of the meanings of it is you really hold the keys here to getting deep within you to find out what your truths are, what your capital T truths are, not these that are related to the fear of losing conditional love and all that human stuff that we're given, but you really are um, able to open up and see who you are on the inside, your heart's desire, your heart's truth, not all this mental stuff that we're taught that are illusions and lies and untrue that are rooted in fear. You find something more within you that's rooted in unconditional love. And so these disappointments serve a purpose that when we're told to look out here for our happiness and we continually get disappointed and it ends up not unfolding the way it was promised that it would unfold or how it would make us feel, it allows us to eventually get sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And we move inward and upward and we're like, wow. And that's where you find your truth. And then this is where you make a change. You have the Two of Wands here, which you realize you hold the power to determine where you go in your world, that whatever you focus on is what grows. But there's this beautiful, beautiful energy that changes what you want to do, and you start making new plans on where you want to head and what you want to do with your life because you see the world in a different way. Because we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So when we have ourselves under all those expectations and that heartbreak and that disappointment, we see the world as a very painful, heartbreaking, disappointing world, right? But when you, on the inside, you find this unconditional love, this freedom, you start seeing the world as this free place, as a place full of love instead. And then you make different plans. You start seeing things differently. You start doing things differently. So I do like that for you, Shwani. So that's what they have here for the future. You're definitely making changes and transforming it to go in a different way. So I like that. All right, lovely, lovely. You are up next for the next free reading. And hello, if any information on your former partner, such as who and when, I think, do you mean your future partner, maybe? So I feel like that's what you're asking for is your future partner. Spirit knows what you're asking anyway. So let's take a look here. Who and when? What would you like, lovely, lovely, to know? All right. So you do have the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like you are going to have a new opportunity coming up here in the near future. Because you have the Page of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a new birth. So this isn't like new stuff coming in, new birth, but Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. As you're waiting, it's important for you to focus on you and your worth as you relate it to the outside world. So with this pause, with it unfolding here, this is the important thing. The pages also are giving you this awareness of the Ace of Pentacles, which is, like I said, your ability to understand your worth as you relate it to the outside world. And this change that happens when you realize that you get to define yourself, that the self worth comes from self, not from the outside world. The outside world, we're told, look for your worth out there. And like, well, that's not self worth, that's retail price. What you're worth to others fluctuates on season and market. That's what retail is all about. You can be a big parka coat in northern Alaska during the winter and you are priceless. They're marking you up and people are fighting over you. Or you can be that same coat on a tropical island on the equator during the summer and you're on the clearance rack and most likely donated because no one wants to purchase. That's the fickleness of the outside world, and you're finding your wholeness from within. Retail price, you end up on the clearance rack, it's unstable, always changing. You turn inward and upward to yourself, and you find your self worth, which is stable and rooted in eternal, never ending, unconditional, not one condition, love that you find within. So, this is changing here for you. And so I feel like they're focusing on the when, the faster you work on your self love and expand that, the faster things move in the outside world. And then you move into the magician here, who this is energy, this is fire energy. And then things come in fast and furious. Someone who really understands their power is who this is. And they will help you. I could feel like it'd be like a fire sign, a fire sun sign, but they will help you see your own power by being a beautiful mirror for you. And so it is someone that doesn't sit around waiting for others to bring things to them. They're a go getter, they're a major manifester, they are successful, they feel they have everything they need within themselves to make things come true. And because they don't need anyone else to do anything for them, they just don't have these expectations on people. They just really move forward. And if they hit an obstacle, they're just like, oh, okay, this was for me. They had this very powerful understanding of whatever they focus their energy on is what grows. And so they learn the hard way, which is how we learn the best. That when you focus on what's missing and what you don't want, and your fear is you feed it and expand it. But when you switch it to gratitude and what you do want and focus on the brighter things, those things expand. And so they've learned to really be positive. So it's almost like someone who does, they're a motivational speaker to themselves for sure, but they're very motivated and they can help people transform their energy from focusing on the lower vibrational things to the higher vibrational things. So that is the little hint that they give into who and when and how, maybe a little bit as well. So that is what they have for you, lovely, lovely. So many blessings to you. All right. So that and many blessings. So Miss Sweet Like Honey will be the next free reading, but I did get a donation. So thank you so much, Beryl Robinson. And you're wondering how 2023 will start out for you. All right. Let's take a look here and see what Spirit wants you to know. Can't believe it's like next week is 2023, right? Almost like tomorrow will be a week because that's well, actually the 31st. That'll be a week from Sunday, right? All right. All right. What else, please? All right. I am liking this for you. All right. Whoops, one more. Okay. So you do have, I mean, what a wonderful card to start off for the new year is the Queen of Wands, which is someone who very much understands their power, in that you're able to really super focus your energy and you're able to get things done. So you have this brightness, you walk into a room and people notice you. You have this confidence, not arrogance. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Confidence is, I know what my abilities and my gifts are, and I'm using them and putting energy into moving them forward. You also have the beautiful Kitty here, which, because she rolls over fire, but she's also given water, all the queens are. And this is your ability to connect to spirit, to trust your intuition, your gut. And because you have this ability, you are able to really focus in on that and make decisions. And people are like, how can you just make decisions like that? And it's because you develop this keen intuitiveness in your life that you are like, it's like this trust. You ask, should I go left or right? And they're like, go right. And you're like, okay. And then beautiful things happen. And they're like, how did you know to do that? Everyone else would have gone left. And you're just like, I just know things and I like it. Because when you are faced with making decisions in the outside world, you do. It's almost like this is your crystal ball. It's like that how they kind of feel like, um, you're able to still look at things. Here's even choosing to go to the right, right? Here's the left, here's the right. You grab a hold. This is your power, and you step forward. And I really like that because not only do you have the Queen of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is a beautiful balancing of heart and mind. And I love this because I feel like next year is a time of following your heart. You have a lot of intelligence and information about where to go and how to do things and what makes sense and blah 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 and things like that, right? But you have this also this heart that's coming in. Your heart is wanting to have a seat at the table in what you do next year. You've been doing things that are sensible. You do things that you know are logical, uh, and the intuition comes in. But I feel like next year is like you really, really take a leap and a jump into doing things differently because when you are making decisions with your mind, it's advantageous and things unfold well, but it's like boom, you get to go forward. You get to let your heart choose something that your heart brings your heart joy. Because I feel like with all of this, because you have the Three of Wands, which is you switching directions next year, have new information, and then you end up taking in like doing a course adjustment and changing directions a bit because of your passion. You have the Page of Cups, new passion, new emotion that comes in around something that comes in, and again, more passion, more movement. But the Knight of Wands is this fast moving. So I feel like when this thing hits, you move fast on it. You make the course adjustment, and people are like, "Whoa!" Because you do it so quickly. Again, that Queen of Wands coming in, going. People are like, What? How can you make a decision that fast?" And you're like, "I just know." I know. And they're like, people who know you will be like, she does know. You're just like, get out of her way because she's going to make stuff happen. And I love this Six of Pentacles coming in here because this does show your abundance that you have that comes in, and you have so much for yourself and balancing life that you're able to give to others as well. So don't be afraid to make that move and that adjustment because your heart's going to express itself. It's going to bring in this beautiful, beautiful change that does bring you financial abundance too. And yeah, so just trust that whatever might feel a little scary at first, the Five of Wands is like fear energy or competition or conflict, that it does switch into something that is so full of love and light. And I mean, you have this rebirth next year. This is Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, but rebirth and harvest and without restriction. So you're moving beyond those supposed tos and shoulds and need tos of the mind, all that logic stuff. It's like it's been good. I've learned a lot, but this is the year. It's like 2023 is the year of me. It feels like where you're like, I'm ready to live my heart's desire and not exist. I don't need to be super logical about everything because it's okay. We make decisions of our mind. It's successful, but we wake up each day going, ugh, let's go. Got to motivate myself. Whereas this change that you have where you head off to is totally different. You actually feel you're excited to wake up and excited to go do it and that. So I'm excited. I'm excited now. I'm feeling all this energy that's coming through for you that it's like you just make this beautiful life transformation and transition. And it's like a rebirth. You're just glowing even more than normal. And you don't need to fear. People who don't know you won't make wise decisions in judging you. So why care about their opinions? The people who know you, who you know love you and support you and really do know you, they're going to be like totally supportive of the change because they know you. They're like, yeah, she doesn't make this kind of decision willy-nilly. What stand back and watch. And they will, and they're you'll have support and pride of who you are, of course. So I like that for you, Beryl. So that is what your 2023 starts off with, this awareness of your 2023 is going to be unlike any other that you've had in a beautiful, beautiful, fruitful way. So I like it. All right. So again, thank you so much for your donation, and I send you many blessings. All right, AJ and Marie, you are up next. Thank you for your donation. Hello. You're starting your business and writing a book. Excellent. Congratulations. That is expressing yourself is a beautiful, beautiful gift. So I like that. Let's take a look here. Will you be extremely successful? Let's take a look, see what Spirit has for you. Okay, tell me more about that. Okay. I love it. And then what else, please? All right. So I like your first card that comes out here. They're all balance, balance. And you're like juggling back and forth here between the two, starting a business and working on the book. And, it's like, yeah, just balance, just let things flow, follow the balance. Don't try to, do too much all at once. Allow yourself the cycles, allow things to unfold, but don't wear yourself out. You have the page of cups here, which is you're being offered, higher love, passion, emotional experiences. So they definitely are talking here about success. Emotionally, you're going to feel this beautiful. I don't want to call it contentment because that seems boring for some reason. It's just being able to express yourself is relief. It's passion flowing out. It feels like something that has been kept inside for so long. Finally, it's like a little puppy that's been in its container. It's like its little cage kennel all day long. Someone, they left early in the morning and they worked late at night, and here they come home and that puppy is just like so ready to run and get out there that it lets it out of its cage and it pees a little. It's so excited. And that's what I feel like, this energy that's coming with being able to move forward in your business and express yourself with this book. It's like your dreams are so excited to be expressed, and they love that. Now, of course, and you do have the King of Wands, which is the entrepreneur card. That's, I kind of chuckled a little bit when this came out here. So this is amazing and beautiful. And the star card, wish fulfillment, wishes coming true. So I love all this. And so success in living your dreams is depends on how you look at it. They're like, when you wake up every day and you're living your dream, that is successful. You just feel excited being able to live your dream and express yourself. We'll get these yeah, we get these ideas about what success is supposed to mean in our brain from society and whatever, like this certain dollar amount, these many book sales, this much popularity, this many likes, blah, 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 blah. We're given all that. But what comes down to our heart is, what does being successful mean to me on the inside? Living my dream, if you end up with $0 in your account at the end of the year after being able to pay all your bills and being able to live your dream, is that successful? Or does it have to be $1,000 or $10,000 in the bank or 100,000 or 1,000,000? Where do we put this idea of success? And I feel like this is what is coming in here for you. And it's great. This is good stuff, because with any new business and books and doing anything we have in life, not everything unfolds the way we feel it has to in our brain. Our supposed to, our should, our need to, our have to, our musts coming in. This is just some things being removed out of your life, making room for new things being removed out of your path to allow your movement forward. And so this is a trust that comes in around this, of trust that what changes happen, what obstacles are removed, what's brought into your life or moved out of your life is for you, that the things are not happening to you. You're going to have a lot of emotions that you're feeling during this time, which is understandable. I mean, we have fears, we have excitement, we have, just all these emotions that just come barreling in, and just know that this is normal. So just take a deep breath and realize that you get to choose what of all the emotions you want to feel as you go through it, and it can change from moment to moment. Some moments you are so happy and excited about what's going on, because it's like writing a book. I know I've written a couple books, and when you're writing them, when you're doing the letting the imagination and that spark flow, and it's flowing out, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then you get into the editing process, and you're like, oh, I'm going to stick a fork in my eye. I'm tired of reading this for the 10th time. And as you're revising in it, you're going through different periods, you feel different things. But try to remember and go back to the why of why you're doing everything. I really feel like that's a huge piece of it, because you do have the devil card that comes in that shows us what our own beliefs and mindsets keep us feeling restricted and trapped, and not being able to live life. And this is Saturn energy, which comes in on purpose for you to challenge the beliefs that you grew up with. And that when things, like especially like with the tower, things are brought up to our face, removed and challenged and shaken, so that you can be set free. You realize you're in a cage. Where have I caged myself, my thoughts, my beliefs, my mindsets, that are keeping me from moving forward or keeping me from doing things? And you get to release those, and that freedom comes in. And I like it. So, very much a beautiful, beautiful, information they're bringing you. They do show the Knight of Wands, a lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of movement that happens within your business and with your book, victory, more movement, but power of choice coming in. So, like the last card they want to leave you on is basically that within every moment, you have the power to choose between the fears of losing conditional love and unconditional love. We get to choose what story, like with a book, what story we apply to each moment. Is it going to be one of fear or one of unconditional love? Any emotion I choose to feel in each moment is either going to be of fear or of unconditional love. Neither is wrong or right. They just are different. Fear contracts, limits, brings you into this. It allows you to feel trapped and restricted. It allows you to experience all of those fears of losing unconditional love. And then we can choose unconditional, which expands. It's what feels like wish fulfillment and this brightness and the difference that comes in. Neither is right, neither is wrong. They just are different. And when you don't want to feel a certain way at a certain moment, you have the power to switch it and choose it to be different. So I feel very much abundance around your venture here, especially the King of Wands showing itself with being the entrepreneur. They're able to super focus their energy and get stuff done. Success, I feel, is the journey. It's the fear that we get to face. And I feel that's the devil energy, the shadow energy with that. So that is what they have for you, AJ. And I'm so um, just happy for you. I have this joy that is just like that little puppy peeing a little just keeps on sticking up in my mind. They're like, their tails wagging. They're so excited that they get to express themselves and get to do that, that they're just, so I love that for you. So remember the puppy joy, but maybe don't pee a little, but remember that puppy joy. So that's what they have. So many, many blessings to you, AJ. And again, thank you so much for your donation. I honor that energy exchange so much. All right. So thank you. Thank you guys so much. And I think I did tell you, Miss Sweet Like Honey, since I told you that you were going to be the last free reading or the next, you actually will be the last free reading in this session. So Miss Sweet Like Honey, that'll be the last one. If anyone else wants me to complete their reading in this session, then just a donation of any amount will allow me to, I'll make sure I complete it in this session. Otherwise, I'll be back in less than 6 hours, in about 5.5 hours for my evening session. And again, back here the next 2 mornings at 11 a.m. Mountain and every night at 7 p.m. Mountain. And if you need an answer right now, and you're not able to make a donation, totally understand. If you head over to my main page by clicking on Brenda Zen Mystic Tarot, it will take you to my playlists, and I have a ton of free content. And so just follow your heart, and spirit will guide you to those readings that have messages for you. I also offer personal readings at a slight fee. It's on a moving scale, or I think that's what you call it. But all that information's in the description box of the video down below as well. So thank you guys so much for all the thumbs up you give the video. It is also free, and it helps spread the Zen love to the world and helps my channel grow. So thank you so much for being a part of that love tsunami as well. All right, Miss Sweet Like Honey. So you left Cancer saying that you wouldn't be coming back. Oh, good for you, standing up for yourself. I love that. And now you sense that they might be stressed, upset, or angry. Let's take a look here and see what the Cancer is feeling here. All right. Whoa. Okay. Anything else? Less pests. All right. Yeah, this makes sense. So I feel like they are, world card is an ending and a new beginning. And so they definitely are leaving behind old cycles, old ways of looking at things and moving off into a new adventure. They are also leaving behind emotions that no longer serve them. And so they are looking into these things. It did spawn them to, feel. The Five of Swords is conflict. It's mental conflict, expectations being differently, and the fears of losing conditional love. So I feel like when you're picking up that they're stressed, upset, angry, those are all rooted in fear. And so I imagine they are, they're challenging and trying to understand the things that you've said are in their being. And this high priestess shows they're taking a step back and really looking at their subconscious, going behind the veil, connecting higher. They're looking into the conflict that happened, and they're questioning it. It is in their brain, it's in their heart, it's swishing around. They have, when one of their fears of losing conditional love gets sparked, then they of course, that's, stress and anger, and they go into their cat mind, and so they hiss and they attack and they hiss and they run away and they attack and run away, and they have all this stuff that's going on within them. But, you know, because they're realizing that how they treated you, you know, was really how they felt about themselves. And this is what the reflection happens. I even feel like this is like one of those big mirrors. So they're seeing themselves in here and they're seeing things and understanding things. And it was important, as well as you. This was a divine appointment, and you're learning things about yourself, about um, they were showing you how you felt about yourself, as well. And so, that's what we learn in all our relationships: family, friends, romantic, whatever, coworker, schoolmate. We like learn about this mirror that comes back to us. And so, the you're picking up their emotions of their stress and anger and all that. And it's like, okay, you're not responsible for what they're choosing to see in the mirror of you, and that's their journey. And the only thing that you can work on is, what did you learn? I mean, one, you learn to stand up and go, I'm not going to accept that, which is amazing and powerful. But you also can look and, when you look at their treatment of you was poor and weak, that's what you saw, right? You got to see how your thoughts and beliefs about yourself, your actions towards yourself were poor and weak, and how you've stood up to that now, right? So you look at, like, how did I treat myself poorly? Well, I allowed myself to be in a relationship where people treated me poorly because I believe that's all that I deserved. But boom, look at you now, right? And so you get to see and see, is there anything else that I learned through this about how do I treat myself poorly? How do I treat myself weakly? And what you get to even learn even more from this mirror of a cancer, and that you get to say, okay, their feelings are theirs. I can't do anything about that. I can only just send them love from a distance and let them, work through what they were divinely appointed to learn through this interaction between you two. And you get to see, how do I feel? And that helps free you even more. And I love this for you, sweet like honey. So that is what they have for you this evening or this day, wherever you're at in the world. So I like it. All right. So I don't see any other donations there. Let me just check the bottom here. All right, very good. I don't see any other donations. So that will be the last reading for this session. Again, thank you guys so much for all the thumbs up. I will be back in 5.5 hours for my evening session. So if you haven't already, I mean, you most likely have subscribed, but if you haven't, select the little notification bell and selected all. I actually put out a I create the session like an hour-ish before, and then you're actually you'll get notification. You can go in and actually start typing your question for a free reading even an hour before. And then, of course, if you need a reading right now and you need answers, I do have a ton of free content, as I just mentioned. So just click on the Brother Zen Mystic Tarot. It'll take you to my playlists. And I have pick-a cards, weekly energy updates, monthly readings by each zodiac sign, ton. So just follow your heart, and Spirit will guide you to those videos that have messages for you. Other than that, I will be back. And I'm, of course, here also tomorrow and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Mountain, and every night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So thank you guys so much for all your love, all your support. And please know that as you go throughout each and every second of every day of your life, that you are unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things. And of course, I love you guys too. So we'll see you soon. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a great day, great night, wherever you're at in the world, and we'll see you soon. You take care.